Ignite is an ongoing series of speedy presentations. They've ranged from building multi-person pogo sticks to hacking chocolate. Any topic that geeks hold dear. Each speaker gets only 5 minutes and 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds.
Only one word is forbidden in our home. Yes, it is 4 letters, but no, it's probably not the one you're thinking of. Our children are not allowed to say can't, because whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. We want our children to understand a fundamental principle that I'm going to share with you today, that our beliefs, those stories we tell ourselves about how the world works, create our reality. When I was 14 years old, I fell in love for the first time. The boy was 2 years older than me, 6 feet tall, practically James Dean. Over the next 3 years, we exchanged emails and letters, and I became convinced we were soulmates. Until he married the other girl. You know the one. She's coming. There she is. Needless to say, attending their wedding was the worst day of my life. And as I tried to explain to myself, how did my knight in shining armor end up marrying someone else's damsel, I started telling myself a story that might sound familiar to some of you, that I was inadequate, inferior, unworthy. And I lived with that identity for 8 long years as I dated some spectacularly unattractive musicians. And my heartbreaker went through divorce. Until one day I called him up and I asked a life-changing question. I asked, what is the story you tell yourself about what happened to us back in high school? His response would turn my story on its head, completely alter my identity, and change the course of my destiny. But before I tell you what he said, let me share a secret that our ancestors knew but we have forgotten. That our experiences are meaningless until we turn them into stories. It all starts with perception. Now, perception is the great weakness of the human species. Eagles can see 8 times farther. Cats hear 2 octaves higher, and rats smell 3 times better than your average human being. So it's better to think of our sensory experiences as stars in the sky, tiny pinpricks of understanding in a vast sea of unknowing. So what do? We connect the dots, of course. We turn stars into constellations. We turn experiences into stories. Our stories are our interpretation of our perceptions. Stories are our answer to the question, what did that mean? Then comes the thing that we're best at. We codify our stories into belief systems. Now, beliefs are very valuable. They allow us to take in information very quickly, sort it, process it, and make it useful. They do so by creating a series of filters, glasses, if you will, through which we see the world. These are our expectations. Our expectations so effectively filter our perception that eyewitness testimony is considered one of the least reliable sources of evidence in a trial. So back to my heartbreaker. When I asked him, what's the story you tell yourself about what happened to us back in high school, he said, you are the only girl who I ever met who I thought was too good for me. Same data. The exact same experience, but a completely different interpretation. Suddenly, inferior became overqualified. Inferior became superior. Unworthy was worthy. And 15 months later, we were married. Turns out we were soulmates after all. And here's the point that I want you to take home with you today. That every aspect of your life, your appearance, your income, your relationship, your happiness, is entirely within your own control. Everything you see around you has been generated to fit the story you've told thus far. If you don't like the outcome, change the story.
Yes.
So there are 3 points we can learn from this. First, you get to choose the meaning. In every story we tell, there's always a victim or a victor. Be the hero of your own story. Second, speak only positive I am statements. Those 2 words will change the course of your destiny. I am attractive. I am successful. I am and will always be an overcomer. Third, don't allow others to define you. In the same way that we become whatever follows the words I am, don't allow someone else to say you are unless you like what follows. So I want you to write these down. Number 1, choose your meaning carefully. Since multiple interpretations are always possible, why not choose the most favorable one? Second, describe yourself as you wish to be, because we become who we say we are. And third, surround yourself with people who see you as you truly are, because you are more powerful than you can imagine. You are the spitting image of a God who created the world through a word. You are loved, and you are worthy of that love. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.